video, we'll look at a scenario in which every European nation goes to war. And I'm going to start it in a fun way. Because why not? Germany can declare war on Poland. This brings France into the war quickly, which then brings Britain, which brings Ireland in the war despite Britain, which brings Benelux in, because why not? Which brings the rest of Izgrod in, which brings, well, you guessed it, I think, which basically brings in Austria after. And then Russia is brought in, because why not? Because for every Germany doing wrongful stuff, well, there has to be Russia doing not so good things. Like, somebody needs to help Germany. And, yeah, at this point it looks like World War II. But many striking distance. With Russia joining in, this means Belarus joins in, which isn't fun for Ukraine, or Moldova, or Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, or Finland. Now, to get Sweden in, we will do something crazy too. Denmark. Wait, should Denmark? No, that doesn't even make sense. It's too off character for Denmark. We'll have Denmark joining France for fun, which literally means Norway wants to do the same thing. Or if you want to call it Norway, go ahead. Because who doesn't want to call Norway? With Sweden, like, oh, imperialism is good. Imperialism is great. As they break their neutrality, as Italy decides to join and they force San Marino and Vatican City to their will, and well, with France being fully in, Iberia decides to join because Spain likes France and Portugal likes Britain. Now the Balkans is where it gets fun. Ephraim hates Hungary, but Ephraim doesn't like Turkey. So literally, Turkey decides to join the bad guys. Because why not? The bad guys are more fun. Is what Turkey was told. But are they really? With this making Armenia also not like Russia's team. But Russia's okay. What's Armenia for Turkey? Sounds like a good deal. With Greece and Bulgaria being mad. Which means Serbia would be on the blue team. Serbia be on the blue team with Romania. This makes Kosovo on the red side, along with Greece, apparently. I made Greece red now. Along with Northern Macedonia and Albania, which leads to Montenegro joining the good team. Well, and then Bosnia and them all join the red team, because, well, Switzerland, if they join the other team, they're going to collapse, and Switzerland doesn't like collapsing. And, well, Iceland is going to do classic Iceland. And, well, they join the blue team. And now we have a war that's impossible to end. With Everai at war with Everai, nobody has started the invasions yet, but they were right for invading everyone somehow. And, well, since Kazakhstan is the tiniest piece in Europe, and saying Kazakhstan is European is very cool to say, well, we will say it. With Germany in trouble, literally, with two great powers knocking on their doorstep. Even world superpowers, you could say, knocking on their doorstep. But the red team has the advantage. Red team started the war, so they have the advantage that they can fence first. And, well, I guess this makes sense for a great European war. Now to make the thumbnail, the war has started. With Northern Ireland being quickly taken over by Ireland. Which Britain doesn't like. It's kind of embarrassing to get defeated by Ireland in Britain's eyes, I guess. With Germany attacking Poland. And, well, nobody's helping Ukraine now except blue team. And, well, so Russia starts advancing better. And, well, Belarus connects to the rest of the front. And, well, the Ukrainian front is more like this. With Russia along with Belarus pushing into the Baltics. They push into Finland. And there. With Sweden moving into Finland and Norway. and they try to get to Oslo, but that will probably fail. With Germany deciding to send their small number of troops into Benelux, so when France does decide to attack them back, it's not a big deal. With Switzerland invading France along with Italy, who takes Corsica, with Albania and them meeting up, and Turkey starting an invasion here, with Russia starting an invasion into the northern part of the Caucasus and Turkey into the southern part, quickly this area falls. With Belarus starting an offensive into Poland and there, with a Czech offensive, Hungarian and Slovakia, started by Austria and allies. And well, let's see what happens when the blue team tries to counter these offensives. Well, quickly they move against Germany. Poland makes some pushes back against Russia and them, with Finland pushing them out of a big chunk of the front line and holding Sweden, with Ukraine pushing Russia back a bit, because why not? This happens. Serbia starts pushing them back. Greece does. And while the first two offensives by the blue team are started, one into southern Albania and Macedonia, and one into Kosovo, which quickly causes Kosovo to fall. And well, France starts one into Germany, one into Italy, and one into Switzerland, which quickly does this. But let's see how, when the red team starts offensives again, how far they get. With them moving into Czechia, Germany moves into Poland even deeper. They're hoping to win in Poland so they can move forces east. Russia starts making offensives in Ukraine and they gain to about these lands. And while the Baltics have no chance left, with Turkey's troops arriving to the front line in Greece and Bulgaria, they quickly move in, trying to get, how do you say the city? With Albania pushing back into the east, Thessaloniki, is it? I don't know. But the city right here, as they move in and they manage to take it. And Turkey moves in, and they also move north in Bulgaria, almost to the capital, with them encircling it and taking it. Keep in mind, there was offense, with Belarus's front widening, and Sweden's gains in Norway getting bigger. With Russia advancing into Finland a bit more, but Finland will push them back most likely. With these islands falling, and when the blue team offensives happen, well, Serbia and Hungary can't struggle to move in most of these nations here. But Bulgaria, with the help of Romania, pushes, well, Turkey back to the gates of its capital. And while in Ukraine, they start pushing Russia away from Belarus, and they even launch an offensive into Belarus. With Switzerland having to capitulate at this point because they were taking too much land from, and Germany starting to lose Rhine areas. But back to the red team offensives. Oh wait, I forgot in 5 hours Denmark fell. Germany was gone to beat a record, and while the coast of Poland falls. And while Belarus, with the help of Russia, manages to knock Ukraine out of their territory, and while the strategy used this time is a movement into Greece by Turkey, which capitulates the country, Hungary starts getting moved closer to Budapest. Serbia is managing to hold a defensive line. Bratislava falls in Slovakia, and while Prague has fallen in Czechia. With Germany moving into the Netherlands to hold a defensive here, which works pretty well. Italy launches a counter-offensive, but now they're starting to move troops out of the Balkans. But with the blue team having more advances, well, France starts advancing deeper into Italy, Austria, and Germany. But they don't kick them out of the Netherlands. With Poland, and Poland does a good job, they manage to do this and get back their coastline. Ukraine pushes Russia back, which embarrasses Russia, but not as much as Finland, because Finland's weaker in pushing them back. And while Sweden moves north of Oslo and starts an encirclement, and with Norway unable to hold back, this happens. And well, in the north of Finland, well, the front is getting worse, with Russia starting a new offensive towards Kiev. They manage to get it like this with the city right there, and they move in the south towards the city. But eventually, that's what it looks like. With what happens to Warsaw being the same thing. But with the siege of Warsaw, the siege of Oslo, and the siege of Kiev taking so long, we will have the blue team launch an offensive, which retakes some parts of Serbia, some parts of Hungary, and parts of Bulgaria. But as this is going on this front, well, the fall of Warsaw, the fall of Oslo, and the fall of Kiev happen, with Ukraine losing some lands. And while Turkey starts an offensive here, as Germany and Italy are starting to move forces to the east, with Serbia on the brink of collapse with the encirclement of Belgrade and the encirclement of, well, Budapest happening. And while France is struggling to push back as more German and more Italian troops are moving to the front. But with France being struggling because Russian troops are now arriving in Italy and Germany in conscription, and then the fall of these capitals happen a few months later. With Romania losing its capital, Poland falls along with Slovakia and Hungary. And while Britain re-guides its attention to Ireland, and while they manage to seize the area, with Germany refusing to drop out of the war as they still got allies. With eventually the fall of these countries happen, revolts and, well, partisan activity are probably common in these. With Sweden managing to take out Finland, but seeing Italy push them back, but Germany failed to. Britain starts landing more troops here, so they don't need to focus on Ireland, because they got them down. And well, they start moving into Germany. Germany's starting to get close to having to call quits on this war, with them seeing Germany as a weak link now. With Russia trying to send more and more troops to push them back, but with France's and Britain's more advanced militaries, Germany is in trouble. And while with this, Russia starts sending troops after troops to Germany, but it looks to be failing. With them knowing they can negotiate out Russia, but Germany's in a bit of trouble, and the re-liberation of Denmark happened. With after Germany gets pushed back this far, they are forced to surrender. With after their surrender, well, Russia manages to hold them like this. Italy is really the strongest nation probably right now. Well, actually it's Russia, but Russia's less advanced. And well, with Norway's south being re-liberated from Sweden, up until here where there's some Russia helping. And while with them landing in southern Sweden, they start moving in from Norway. And Sweden is probably the weakest one right now. With them getting Sweden knocked out of the war to about here. With Russia starting to panic. With France retaking some of the lands Italy has taken. With Italy seeing how bad this is going, they call it quits here and give up. With eventually a stalemate starts occurring. With Austria dropping out of the war, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia for a less harsh treaty. With them now starting to move into Poland to keep this out of Russia's hands. With this eventually being the front lines this war ends at, with an agreement to peace by France and Russia. So let's see how it goes. Europe split in two, basically. With Russia having managed to get out, they managed to take big lands from Ukraine, annexed Belarus, big lands from Poland, all the Baltics, parts of Finland. Sweden gained lands and formed the Swedish Empire, except they lost half of Sweden to Sweden. And well, then there's Norway, which got big, Denmark got big, Poland got bigger, except they lost half their territory. Czechia gained lands, France gained lands. A bit excessive, though. Look how big France is now. They could have took all of Switzerland and probably look better. But now we have each side made puppets out of who they invaded. So let's see how it goes. And if this video gets 50 likes, not 50 likes, that'll never happen. But if it gets 10 likes, well, then I'll make a Cold War scenario with this map. And that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!